And with some help from Lockie, we've been able to figure it out. So with hip number 1 right now is Richardson from Geelong Guild. Number 2, Atkin of Box Hill. Number 3, Lonsdale of BEU. Number 4, Federico of Coburg. Number 5, Postans of Box Hill. Number 6, Holzoder of Knox. Number 7, Sammy Prime of Knox. Number 8, Dickinson of Chilwell. Number 9, Antonolo of Williamstown. Number 10, Brown of Mornington Peninsula. 11, Buckland of Ballarat YCW. Number 12, L'Estrange of Diamond Valley. Number 13, Stokes of Ringwood. Number 14, O'Loughlin of Coburg. 15, Ashley of Ballarat YCW. Number 16, Da Costa Alves of Independent. And rounding it out with 17 is going to be Schultz. So a huge field here.
You're right. Okay. Thanks, ladies. On your marks.
So as we get closer to the A race here, we could see some more bunched up races. Some of the seed times could be getting a bit closer together, so they're going out together here. Doesn't look to be as strung out. There's no real bolters yet like in the other races, but it still seems to be a pretty honest pace.
Yeah, absolutely. These are going to get quicker as we get going. Obviously, as we get towards that, the last race of the night, which will be the B races of this event, this pack is completely bunched. Sammy Prime's going to be the one to lead it out. So good to see Sammy Prime back on the track racing. Sensational. Got the Knox Swagger and a Knox Swagger counterpart on the inside there. So now we start to see a bit of movement on the outside. And it's unfair of me to think that you know every Box Hill athlete, but I'm going to take a guess and say that you may know this one, Postons.
Yes, I do. I've seen her around the training, so could be a win for the SAS stable here. Steve would be happy with that, and I think he'd be happy that she's going out in the front, being aggressive. That's what he told me to do today, be aggressive, so he'll be pretty happy here.
Yeah, well, she's doing just that. Probably good thing in this pack when it's all bunched like that, moving out into lane 2. You don't want to get caught in running extra distance. You don't need to. So to go to the front, it's a bit of a veteran move in a rookie body. So great to see that there from Postons. Now we see our other Box Hill athlete. She wants to get a part of the action. So Atkin now on the outside. 1:21 on the clock as they come through. Splitting the middle there is going to be Schultz of Williamstown. So Williamstown, I don't know if they've sent a bus over Williamstown, but I've never seen more Williamstown athletes on a track than I have tonight. And she's going to be the one to split the difference between the two Box Hill athletes and our Knox Swagger on the inside. But Postons still leading it out.
Yeah, so they're not as strung out here. As you can see, they're kind of all running in pairs. There's some people out in lane 2, and they're getting pretty wide, getting close to lane 3. So everyone's pretty bunched up and happy in their spots, I reckon. There's not too much moving. A bit at the back as we see hip number 7, Prime, make a bit of a move there. But everyone's settled in, it seems, so could be on for a good race here and a good finish.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It is nowhere near as spread out as what we've seen for the rest of the night. So these girls' really moves could come from anywhere as we start to develop into the last 900 odd metres of this mile event, that being the women's C mile. We have a new race leader, and I believe that's Schultz of Williamstown. So she's going to lead out Postons. Postons, am I saying that right?
I believe so.
Beautiful, thank you. Postons now going to sit in second, and this is what I was saying. Now these moves from this pack are going to start to come. It's so bunched up, they could really come from anywhere. So we now see one of our back markers there in the pack come through and start to lead that chase. So the one splitting it there is also going to be Richardson's of Geelong Guild, and here we see Da Costa Alves. She's going to be the one to put this pack on her back and say, hey, let's get hiking, everybody. I've got my boots on, and I want to be the one to get to the top of the summit. So she's going to try and get there now. Poston sitting in second. The one still leading there is going to be Schultz. So Schultz, Postons, Richardson. The one who's going to peg him back is going to be Da Costa Alves. And now as we start to see some more moves made around the track.
I believe that's actually Atkins there. Atkins second for Box Hill. So not sure where Poston's gone. She might have drifted back in the pack here. I think she has. So it's a pack of 3 out there with 600 to go. They're on pretty good pace, and there's still a good pack behind them. That there's enough people in there to be able to make a move, I reckon.
Yeah, absolutely. There isn't as quite big a gap as what we've seen in the past. So these three, they're going to work pretty well together, but it only takes one athlete to be able to bridge that gap for this whole field to be able to come back into it. So we're still going to see Schultz leading it out. Atkins sitting there in second, and so too is Richardson. So now we're going to see this gap starting to be bridged, and it's going to be done by Ashley. So Ashley, she might not bring the pack, but she's at least going to bring herself. So Schultz going to go through at 4:07. Then two's going to be Richardson. Atkin from the inside there, and sitting with hip number 15 is Ashley. So Ashley now moves around Atkin. Now we start to see as well, it's going to be Federico as well start to move around into 5th place, but at the front of the race is still Schultz. Richardson there in second. In 3rd place is going to be our Ballarat YCW athlete in Ashley. So Ashley in 3rd. She's starting to bridge it back now a little bit here, Isaac. So Schultz is going to lead it out. The one sitting there in second is going to be Richardson, and the move could be coming from Ashley sitting in 3rd place with 200 metres to go. Tell us how it's going to unfold here, Isaac Babile. 200 metres to go, and it's Schultz.
I reckon Schultz has it here. She's got a pretty decent gap, and I don't reckon anyone's going to be able to close that. And if it is someone, it'll be Ashley. So she's made a pretty big move on this last lap, and with about 150 to go, she's moved past Richardson and she's starting to close the gap, but Schultz might have too big of a lead and she might be able to hold her off here. So it's going to be a good finish. 5:09 with 100 to go, so they're on a good pace here, and it's going to be a battle for the 2nd and 3rd there between Richardson and it is sorry, I've had a blank there.
Richardson, and it's going to also be Ashley at the front.
Ashley
Schultz
there.
is going to take
Schultz,
it.
who's taken the win there.
Good running. Good, tough running. Ashley there for 2nd. Richardson for 3rd. And they couldn't quite get there. They spotted her a bit too much room, as you said. It's a risky game to let someone get that far ahead.
Might have just gone a bit late. The pack, I guess, no one really wanted to be out there on their own. I think everyone was a bit happy to sit in the main pack of the race, and sometimes when it is a pack race and someone bolts, no one's kind of got the guts to go out on their own because they want that wind coverage in the pack, or they just want to sit behind someone because it is easy running behind people, but sometimes you've just got to go for it.
That's it. And that was obviously the perfect example of making a time to go for it. So great, tough racing by the ladies out here across the whole night, not just in that women's C mile event, but honestly, the spectacle of racing tonight has been unbelievable. And again,